Have you ever run into someone from your past at a strange time? An old friend, a former teacher, or an ex-partner? It can be an awkward and sometimes painful experience. They see you, and they think you are the same person you were 5 years ago. They do not see how you have grown, how you have changed. They only see the memory of you. This is a story about a night like that. A night when my past and my present crashed into each other in a very public and very surprising way. I would like to know, do you believe that people can truly change? Please share your story in the comments. My name is Maya, and my story starts at the biggest party of the year. 5 years ago, my heart was completely broken. I was in love with a man named Daniel. He was ambitious, smart, and very focused on success. He was a young lawyer, and his career was everything to him. I was an art student. I was a dreamer. I loved to paint, to create, to make beautiful things. Daniel used to say my dreams were cute, but not practical. When he got a big promotion, he ended our relationship. He told me, "Maya, I am on a path to a big future. I need a partner who is on the same path. Your world of art is too small." His words broke my heart. He made me feel like I was not good enough. After he left, I was sad for a very long time. But then, I used my broken heart to create something new. I took my love of art, of beauty, and of organizing things, and I started my own business. It was a small event planning company. I called it Maya's Magical Moments. I started with small birthday parties, but my work was good. I was creative, and I was a perfectionist. My small company started to grow. 5 years later, Maya's Magical Moments was the most successful and exclusive event planning company in the city. I was the secret person behind all the most important parties and galas. I had become very, very successful. But I was successful in my own creative way. My story takes place at the biggest event of my career. My company was hired to plan the annual City Business Awards Gala. It was a huge, important event. Hundreds of the most powerful people in the city would be there. On the night of a big event, I am not the boss in a fancy dress. I become a part of my team. I wear a simple black uniform and an earpiece, just like my staff. I work on the floor. I make sure every drink is perfect, every flower is in place, every guest is happy. It is my secret to success. The gala was going perfectly. The room was beautiful. The music was soft. The food was amazing. I was walking through the crowd, carrying a tray of empty champagne glasses when I saw him. Daniel, my ex, the man who had broken my heart. He was older, in an expensive tuxedo, and he was with a beautiful, elegant woman, his new wife. My heart did a strange, painful little jump. He saw me. He looked at me, at my simple black uniform, at the tray of dirty glasses in my hand, and a slow, cruel, and arrogant smile spread across his face. He thought, I was right about her. She is just a waitress. He stopped me as I walked past. He put his hand on my arm. He looked at his beautiful wife, but he spoke loudly so I could hear. "Look, darling," he said, his voice full of a fake sweet poison. "It's Maya, the little artist I told you about. It is so good to see she found a nice, simple job." He laughed. I felt a hot wave of shame and anger. But I was a professional. This was my event. I just gave him a small, cold smile. "Enjoy your evening, Daniel," I said. And I walked away. But his wife, the elegant woman, did not laugh. She was watching me. She was a very intelligent-looking woman. She saw my earpiece. She saw the way another staff member stopped me to ask a question. She saw me give a quiet instruction to the head of the catering team. She knew that a normal waitress did not do those things. She looked at her husband's arrogant, smiling face. And then she looked back at me, the simple waitress. and her perfect, calm face was full of a new, sharp curiosity. I walked away from Daniel and his wife, my heart a painful, beating drum in my chest. For a moment, I felt like the same small, worthless girl he had left 5 years ago. But then, my earpiece buzzed. My head of security had a question. "Ma'am, the guest of honor is about to arrive. Are we ready?" The question was a splash of cold water. I was not a heartbroken girl anymore. I was a professional. I was in charge of this entire event. I took a deep breath, and I became the boss again. "Yes, we are ready," I said, my voice calm and in control. "Proceed as planned." I continued to walk through the ballroom, my eyes everywhere, making sure everything was perfect. But I could feel someone watching me. I glanced over. It was Daniel's wife. She was not talking to her husband. She was watching me. Her eyes were sharp and intelligent. She saw me speak quietly into my wrist. She saw the head chef stop and ask for my approval on a plate. She saw the way I gave a small, confident nod to the orchestra leader to begin the next song. She was putting the puzzle pieces together, and she knew that the piece named Waitress did not fit. Daniel, however, saw nothing. He was busy talking to other important lawyers, laughing his loud, confident laugh. He looked over at me once more, and he gave me a small, pitying smile. He was still so sure of his story, his version of my life. The main part of the evening began. The awards ceremony. The host, the mayor of the city, walked onto the stage. He started his speech. He thanked all the important guests for coming. Daniel and his wife had a table right at the front. The mayor said, "Before we begin with the awards, I want to give a special and personal thank you to the person who is the true artist behind this incredible evening." I was standing near the side of the stage, checking a schedule with my assistant. I was not really listening, but Daniel's wife was. I saw her turn to her husband. Her expression was now a mask of cool, sharp curiosity, and I could almost hear the quiet, dangerous question she asked him. "Daniel, who is she really?" I saw Daniel laugh and shake his head, ready to give another dismissive answer. But he never got the chance. Because at that exact moment, the mayor on the stage smiled and said, "This gala is the most beautiful event of the year, and it is all thanks to her incredible talent and hard work. Please, let's have a huge round of applause for the founder and creative director of Maya's Magical Moments, the brilliant Ms. Maya Lin." And then, 2 things happened at the same time. First, a giant spotlight hit me, right where I was standing. My picture, a professional and confident headshot, appeared on the huge screens on either side of the stage. And second, the entire room of 500 of the city's most powerful people all stood up, and they turned to me, and they began to applaud. I saw Daniel's face. He was looking at the big screen, at my picture. He heard my name. He heard the name of my company. His proud, arrogant smile just froze and then it melted away. His face went from confusion to disbelief to a pale, sick-looking horror. He had just spent the evening making fun of a simple waitress. And he had just discovered that the waitress was the secret, powerful creator of the entire event. He looked at me, standing in the spotlight, in my simple black uniform, and his world turned upside down. Then, I saw him look at his wife. She was not looking at him. She was looking at me. And she was not angry. She was impressed. She gave a small, slow nod. And then she turned to her husband, her face full of a cold, new understanding, and she said just one, quiet and terrible word to him. "Oh." The spotlight was so bright. For a moment I was a deer, frozen in the headlights of a car. The applause from the 500 most important people in the city was a loud, roaring sound. I could feel my team, my staff, all looking at me with wide, shocked, and happy eyes. The mayor, on the stage, was smiling and calling me to come up. I was not a waitress anymore. I was the star of the show. I took a deep breath, and I walked up the small steps to the stage. I shook the mayor's hand. "Your work is brilliant, Ms. Lin," he said. "Truly brilliant." He asked me to say a few words. I looked out at the sea of faces, and I saw Daniel and his wife at their front table. Daniel was as pale as a ghost. His wife was watching me with a calm, intense expression. I smiled a small, professional smile. "Thank you, Mr. Mayor," I said, my voice clear and confident. "I am so happy that you are all enjoying the evening. I have the best team in the world, and this beautiful night is because of their hard work. Thank you." And that was it. I walked off the stage. For the rest of the evening, I was not serving tables. I was the center of attention. So many important people came to talk to me. They wanted to congratulate me on the beautiful event. They wanted to hire my company for their own parties. I was no longer Maya, the simple waitress. I was Ms. Lin, the successful business owner. Later that evening, I was talking to an important new client when I saw them approaching. Daniel and his wife. He looked terrified. His face was full of shame. His wife, however, was the picture of calm, elegant grace. She was the one who spoke first. She looked me right in the eye. "Ms. Lin," she said, and her voice was full of a real, genuine respect. "I just wanted to tell you that this is the most spectacular event I have ever attended. Your work is truly a form of art." "Thank you so much, Mrs. Sterling," I said, giving her a real warm smile. "I am so glad you are enjoying it." Then, Daniel finally spoke. His voice was a low, shaking whisper. "Maya, I had no idea," he stammered. "I am so sorry. I was a fool." I looked at him, at the man who had broken my heart, and then laughed at me, the man who had made me feel so small. I had dreamed of this moment for years. I had imagined all the angry, smart things I would say to him. But now, in this moment, looking at his pathetic, scared face, I did not feel anger. I did not feel a need for revenge. I just felt nothing. A cool, distant pity. He was not a monster from my past anymore. He was just a sad, small man. "It's all right, Daniel," I said, and my voice was polite and completely empty of emotion. It was the voice you use with a stranger. We all make misjudgments about people's paths in life. I then turned my warm smile back to his wife. "It was a pleasure to meet you, Mrs. Sterling." And then, I turned my back on him and I walked away. I did not give him a second look. I had a party to run. The rest of the night was a huge success. After the last guest had left, I stood alone in the middle of the grand empty ballroom. The flowers, the lights, the music, it was all my creation. I thought about Daniel's cruel laugh when he saw me with a tray in my hand. It felt like it had happened a lifetime ago, to a different person. His opinion of me was not important anymore. The only opinion that mattered was my own, and I was so proud of the woman I had become. The night of the gala was a turning point. After that, everything was different. The story of the secret event planner who was mistaken for a waitress and the arrogant lawyer who insulted her became a quiet legend in the city's business circles. My company, Maya's Magical Moments, became more famous than ever before. I started to get calls from the biggest clients, the most important companies. My business grew, and I became even more successful. But the most important change was not in my business. It was in my heart. I was not the same person anymore. The old secret insecurity that Daniel had left me with, the feeling that I was not good enough, was completely gone. I was a successful woman, not in his world, but in my own. I had built a life and a business from my own passion, my own hard work. I did not need anyone's approval to feel valuable. I knew my own worth. My life was full. I had my wonderful creative work. I had my kind, loyal friends. I was happy. It was a happiness that I had built myself, a happiness that no one could take away from me. I did not think about Daniel very much. He was a character from a sad, old story, a story that was not mine anymore. About a year after the gala, I received a short, polite email. I was surprised to see the name of the sender, Catherine Sterling, Daniel's wife. The email was not angry or sad. It was simple and direct. She wrote that she wanted to thank me. She said that the night of the gala had been a moment of terrible embarrassment for her husband, but a moment of great clarity for her. She said she had seen his true character that night, his arrogance, his cruelty, his need to feel superior to others. She wrote that she had left him a few months later. At the end of the email, she wrote, "You are a woman of great talent and great class. I wish you all the best." I read her email, and I did not feel a sense of victory. I just felt a quiet, sad sense of understanding. His need to feel big had made everyone in his life feel small, and in the end, it had left him all alone. I wrote her a short, kind email back, and I wished her the best, too. I looked around my beautiful office, a place I had created with my own 2 hands. I thought about the journey that had brought me here. The heartbreak from 5 years ago was the best thing that ever happened to me. Daniel's rejection was the fire that made me strong. He told me my world was too small, so I built a bigger, more beautiful world for myself. The best revenge is not a loud, angry moment. The best revenge is a quiet, happy, and successful life. A life that is so full of your own joy that there is no more room for the sad ghosts of the past. If this story about success and self-worth inspired you, please give this video a like. What does the phrase, "the best revenge is living well," mean to you? Share your thoughts in the comments. For more inspiring English stories about strong women, please be sure to follow our channel.